Hey everyone, welcome to the Pace Studio, round 3 today. We are here with Gogol Bordello. We are so excited. Thank you so much for being here with us, all of you.
Nice to be here.
What's the first song you're going to play for us today?
Well, why don't we play Saboteur Blues? That was the first single that came out from the new record.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
New record is called Seekers and Finders, by the way, and it is out now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a true story.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Saboteur Blues, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, evolution, baby, you must have heard indeed that the scientists and monks finally agreed.
They did?
So roll over Darwin. It's all over the news. It's the end, it's the end, it's the end. Oh. My Saboteur Blues. My Saboteur Blues. No more living in a future. No more living in a past. Them that the grandest bandit robbers are busted at last. So roll over Darwin. Tell the carnies the news. It's the end, it's the end, it's the end. Oh. My Saboteur Blues. My Saboteur Blues. Saboteur Blues. I think therefore I am. No longer rings the bell. Yes, he thought therefore he was. He must have meant something else. 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 Saboteur Blues. My Saboteur Blues. Oh, it's the end, it's the end, it's the end. It's the end, it's the end, it's the end. It's the end, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, myself Saboteur Blues. Hey!
Hey!
Thank you.
You guys, I have to say, are one of the most fun, most energetic bands I have ever seen anywhere in the world, anywhere in my life.
Thank you.
So when I walked in today and was like, all right, we're going to do this session, I really didn't expect y'all to be sitting down. So that's new. And one of my questions that I had prepared was actually, do you sit down ever? So I was wondering if you could tell me about your recording process for Seekers and Finders. Like, do you record like live to tape, everyone jumping around and going crazy like you do on stage, or is it a more subdued process?
Well, actually, that's a good question because what you're seeing right now is exactly how the band performed like for first 2 years of its existence.
Okay.
So
That was not when I saw you. Sorry.
Yeah, the accumulation kind of happened later. Of it kind of snowballing into the spectacle that it's known for. But the more kind of the foundation of the band is actually this. It's very crafted music. That's why it sustains so much forthcoming. Yeah, that's why it's persevered for so many years. It's like you can
jump all around, all you want, it ain't gonna last unless it's crafted underneath.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes a ton of sense. Well, what else can you tell us about the new record?
Oh, well, I'm glad that the recording process is over. It took only 3 years. I was kind of, I was producing the record, and then at the last year of it, also Boris chimed in, and but it was a pretty long process because of getting it exactly the way it needs to be. So, yeah, that's kind of good to see. Just very fulfilling to see it out there, beginning its own life now.
Totally. Well, and you wrote it on 3 different continents, I read. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's like any anything that. I mean, it's a bit of an exaggeration because just about anything we do is going to end up being on at least 3 continents. So the exaggeration is that there was a focus point at the end of it. Of course, it was done in New York and in Washington, D.C. But the writing process just simply never stops. So, one record is done, next day begins new record. It's like
Totally.
that. So,
Totally.
of course, in duration of that time, yes, I was still living in Brazil and going to Eastern Europe a lot, to my native Ukraine. So it appeared like coming out of this triangle of Eastern Europe and Brazil, and here the material was kind of all conceived there for the most part. Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, what's the next song you're going to play for us today?
Walking on a Burning Coal. Let's do that. That's the second single that came out, and also the second track on the record. It's kind of, I suppose, some kind of idea of a rite of passage is lurking in that song, although it doesn't specifically address any particular experience because it is so vastly different. What is your own rite of passage?
Walking on one cloudy morning with uncertain shadow on my soul. Underneath the shadow there was yearning. Beat on walking on a burning coal. I'm walking, burning, walking. As I'm walking on a burning coal. Walking, burning, walking. As I'm walking on a burning coal. Leave behind scenarios made for you and stay on the path to your own pole. I can say no ordinary stroll. Gets the sailor knot in my chest undone, and the shadow leaves the soul turned to ashes, turned real. And you don't need no one to walk you through this, or this would be world burial. I'm walking, burning, walking, walking on a burning coal. Burning, coal. As I'm walking on a burning. Is there anybody coming here to see? Is there anybody looking to heal me? I was walking on one cloudy morning with a certain shadow of my soul. Underneath the shadow yearning, ain't it easier to fall? Fall out. As I'm walking on a burning coal. Walking, burning, walking. As I'm walking on a burning coal. Walking, burning.
Thank you.
I mean, in the context, in the song, it is walking. The burning coal is the metaphor for whatever you are. Burning coal is, of course, it is quite specific in that sense.
I got you. I got that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back to something you said before in describing kind of the writing process and where geographically that took you. I mean, this band has always been one to blend sounds and cultures and ideas. Does that mean something like more to you? Does that resonate with you more these days in a time where like all of our differences are like seem to be like hyper accentuated in this like really divisive political climate?
No. It's always as it's always been. I think that originally music was something that took me out from where I was. And I think it's like that for many people. I mean, I was already set on a track to leave Ukraine, basically, where I was born and raised, simply by being immersed in music that's is spoken in English and French and German, Italian. And, I mean, it continues to be so. I was never I was always feeling like music is this magic carpet that kind of takes me away and keeps carrying me on, and it's never been any less or any more. I think that it's just simply also, I mean, look, there's a lot of flavor here and a color and a variety of personal, gusto. And I think it's just who we are. So it doesn't fluctuate whether climate is like this or like that,
Well, I think it resonates with a lot of listeners, and it means a lot to see
may
that
happen.
and hear that.
Yes, because people are like now asking like, hey, why don't you write a song about like immigration, something about like all the trauma of it and how to overcome it? I'm like, you mean like immigrant punk or immigraniata, songs that been out for over a decade on our records? Like those songs have been written. Mm-hmm. I mean, welcome to the party.
And that's the spirit. Welcome
Yes.
to the party.
Yeah, late, but you came. It's okay.
Tell us about the last song you're going to play today.
Well, new one or let's do a title track, Seekers and Finders. Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, we would accept a new one and an old one if you feel like continuing to
Yeah,
play.
we can do 4. Let's
Yeah.
do Seekers and Finders and then Compañera.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Not all horses gonna need blinders. Not all seekers will be finders. Even the gurus only yet to know. Yet there is a path you call your own. Seekers, finders, which one are you? Which one am I? We are all just endless riders. Some crack right through, some only try. Life,
Western unity,
death,
propels the community,
you.
break the dividers to
Rip off the mask and tear off the blinders. Mind,
stuck in survival.
soul,
It knows no rival.
in.
It's the one and the only. It is the seekers and finders of holiness.
Seekers, finders, which one are you? Which one am I? We are all just endless riders. Some are crack right through, some only try. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Words turn flesh, so go feed your tigers.
Light one, dark one, both are in brief I stand.
Oh, which one will now defeat the other.
It's the one that turns fight into death.
Seekers, finders, oh, which one are you? Which one am I? We are all just headless riders. Some crack right through, some only try. Seekers, finders, which one are you? Which one am I? We are all just headless riders. Inside one, oh, singing I.
Sensei. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
So since you're gonna bust out one more, and it's an older one, you said, right?
Yeah, it's from a TC Hustle record that we did with Rick Rubin. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Well, yeah, we would love to hear one more song if you guys feel like playing one more.
All right, Ski. Let's get to it. There will be a special gospel introduction which did not appear on the record. It's kind of a flamenco gospel.
Where are you now, my compañera? I'm beating bricks from town to town. Where are you now, my sonidera? I'm at my final down. We step together in a river. We traded fever for turmoil. Last time I saw you was in the middle. So did you ever reach the soil? Where are you now, my compañera? Your baby claw stuck in my chest. Where are you now, my solidera? Who took you from the nest? Where are you now, my compañera? I'm beating bricks from town to town. Where are you now, my solidera? I'm at my final down. Like through the muzzle stuck surrender, I had to tear it off my mind. Then hypothermia took over, and suddenly I just went blind. Where are you now, my compañera? Your baby claw stuck in my chest. Where are you now, my solidera? Who took you from the death? Where are you now, my compañera? I'm beating bricks from town to town. Where are you now, my solidera? I'm at my final down. I'm at my final down. Eat and sleep without desire. Would you like window or aisle? Warmest sky you ever see, warrior that's more fragile. Chillax hangover, malnutrition. You can't fly in this condition. And if no one intervenes, out of the window is my mission. Where are you now, my compañera? Your baby claws stuck in my chest. Where are you now, my solidera? Who took you from the nest? Where are you now, my compañera? I'm beating bricks from town to town. Where are you now, my solidera? I'm at my final down. I'm at my final down.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys. You were basically on tour for the rest of the calendar year, so I won't ask you to name all of the places. But for anyone tuning in, all of those dates are online. Seekers and Finders is out now. Bring your dancing and or jumping shoes if you go see Gogol Bordello live. Thank
Your
you so much for
parachute.
being here with us. Or a parachute, indeed. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thank you so
today.
much for having us.
Thank you for having us.